It's getting to that time of night where it's possible. Also, my Discord, or not my Discord, but my OBS was joining like random servers, like it was just set to adapt and change it. So like I have it set to just Toronto now, and I'm hoping that helps too. Uh, from what I'm
Hopefully.
from what I'm seeing right now, things are good. I started the stream and there's no drop frames, which is super nice. You love to see it. Um, Everybody take 5 points on your points card tonight. Is anybody rolling for charms? Nerissa? No.
No.
I'm I'm not gonna roll tonight.
Jesus, not gonna roll. Brunk? No. Okay. Last session started with you kind of getting used to your new ship, searching it and checking it out, and finding some useful goodies in the bilge. Um, the ship was like you managed to get to the point that was rumored for the Shadowfin King to hang out, and the ship was attacked by the Shadowfin King and some minions. Um, though the fight was fairly tough. Almost lost a couple of people. It's mostly like almost lost like Mirabelle the slime, and a lot of people took some damage. But you did manage to make it through, and overpower the Shadowfin King. However, that was not before it had taken control of Nerissa, and forced her to try and kill her friends. Before anyone could snap her out of it, Nerissa had stabbed an unsuspecting Rosalia nearly to death. And when we ended session, we had ended on Torgrin like being freed. He was like inside the Shadowfin King in like this like kind of radiant orb that as soon as you killed the king, he had like released it but immediately dropped unconscious. Brunk rushed to heal Rosalia, and Nerissa. We ended with Nerissa kind of left snapping back to reality in the middle of a blood-stained tank of water, with her injured friend hanging unconscious off the side of it and a bloody knife clenched tightly in her fist. Um, those who have the mind to notice would also notice that the Shadowfin King, where it was, all that was left was this tiny, like, little blob, like ink blob, with these itty bitty eyes and mouth. And inside, it is sitting inside of this crown that was left behind. This crown like appears to be like this sleek black metal, with spikes coming out of the sides and like two big spikes jutting out of the top, almost like ears or horns. And it is like emanating this like dark, dreadful like it's like got these wisps of shadow coming off of it, but it's emanating this like dark feeling of dread.
So cute, but so ominous.
Mm-hmm. Barnabas has like righted the ship at this point again and is like kind of like undecided on where to go, so he starts to kind of like turn to head back towards shore, where you came from. He looks over, he's like, is everybody still alive?
Uh, I think so.
What the hell happened? I'm just like looking at my hands like in shock.
Yeah, your hand like did you drop the knife or are you still holding it?
Oh, I'm like muscles clenched like.
Yeah. So like yeah, you've got like this white knuckle clench on this dagger, and like you are covered in blood, and your like hands and this knife are also covered in blood.
Do I notice Rosalia and like do I know it's Rosalia that I hurt or like what?
I mean, you may surmise like Rosalia is now healed, so like there's no knife wounds, but there's maybe like slight scarring still that's still healing over, as like Brunk is like working his magic to try and heal her up. You'd see like maybe the wounds starting to seal. You like she's fully armored, so where you got her, like you managed to get like the slightly exposed parts, or like dig under the armor to get to like to be able to pierce flesh. So really like all you're seeing is like her armor is covered in blood, she's covered in blood, your tank is stained with the blood, and it's all over your hands and the knife as well.
Is she conscious right now?
No. She's like unconscious, hanging off the side of the tank.
I look at Brunk and Jesus and I'm like, did I do that?
I, not really sure. I was kind of preoccupied with the big thing, so I didn't see what was going on behind me.
What was I aware of during that?
You were aware of everything. Like you
Okay.
you, even though you're coming out of this haze, like you know you did it. Like
Oh, okay.
asking the question is more kind of like just that denial of like I couldn't have done that, but you watched yourself do it. You felt it. You felt that unending urge to just kill those people around you, and specifically to kill your friends, like to kill your loved ones. And it was a voice in your head that was just overpowering, that like it didn't just sound like a foreign entity, it also sounded like your inner thoughts telling you to do it.
So am I aware that it was the Shadow King doing it, or was I just like
The could have been
overcome?
could have been the Shadowfin King. Like for you, it was just you were overcome with this overwhelming sense to murder, like an impulse you
Okay.
couldn't control.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't stop myself. Is she okay? Is she gonna be okay?
Well, I think I've put as much healing into her as I can possibly muster here. I mean, I will use up another 10 points on my lay on hands pool. Use healing hands. Let's see.
Hold on. I might have to stop the stream again and just record it again this weekend, because again, like it's now at like 37% frame drops. When like literally 5 minutes ago it was showing me nothing and like everything was fine.
Let me try a new something new. So this would give everybody 14 HP.
Prayer of healing.
Yeah, it's the prayer of healing. Presuming got a 30-foot range on it. I mean, if you want to presume that
Everybody gets
Barnabas
in
and
on it, yeah.
Barnabas and Lyric would be involved if they need to be, you know.
Yep.
Assuming I would have, encouraged them to do so. Do we just need to like slap Torgrin awake?
Make a medicine check.
What do you know?
18. He looks like like it. He is unconscious, but not in the way that he's just sleeping. Like, this is a result of like extreme exhaustion. For like, especially for somebody who uses radiant and holy energies, you know that it's not easy. Like, you are focusing the power of your god through you to be able to do things. And whatever he was doing to keep himself safe appears to have just taken its toll on him. Like, he doesn't appear to be injured, he just appears to be like exhausted.
Okay.
Lithraxis, who like took a fucking harsh beating, kind of like backs up to like the other side of the healing orb and just kind of lays down against it and lets it start healing him. You hear like his breathing is heavy. But not just like out of breath, like there's like an undertone of like kind of like an angry growl underneath each breath.
Oh.
Sitting around the healing crystal, you guys will all end up at full HP. It's just inevitable sitting near it. Sorry, these guys gained 14, you said, plus 14. So Brunk, you are like in the middle of healing. Nerissa, you are traumatized. Jesus, what are you doing?
I'm I'm kind of just examining this crown thing.
Examining how?
Like I want to see if it has any magical properties or um, I don't have detect magic though, but
Okay, so you don't have detect magic. Are you physically picking it up and touching it? Or are you just trying to like look at it from a distance and scope it out?
I'll pick it up. I'll see.
You'll reach out and touch it and pick it up.
Yeah.
Okay. You reach out and touch the crown, and immediately I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw. The DC here is 13. You immediately, when you pick up this crown, have the unyielding urge to put it upon your head.
Yeah.
Do we
I'm
notice
not
him
gonna put
doing this? Okay.
Give me a perception check. Sorry, did you say you're not going to do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna resist that urge.
The roll for the wisdom saving throw was to resist that urge.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You have an inspo. You could try and re-roll it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try re-rolling that first.
I need Brunk and Nerissa to roll perception checks for me, please. Why isn't it showing a result? I know Nerissa rolled.
It's not even showing me like my dice or anything.
Try refreshing. Because I saw the dice roll. But it didn't.
I didn't even see them come out.
Yeah, well, 2 dice rolled, like 2 d20s rolled, but it didn't show anything. It didn't give us a result. Once you refresh, try again. Perception. Okay, it's showing that time. Both you like now trying to take in your surroundings is the reason you notice, and same thing like Brunk. Like now that you kind of like laid on your hands, you see Jesus like staring deeply at this crown and lifting it to put on top of his head.
Jesus, what are you doing?
Brunk, you can't just throw an unarmed strike at me without role playing it, please. I'm not filling it in for you.
Since I am a trained tavern brawler, I'm gonna look. As I look over, I'm assuming I see it with the perception check, and I'm gonna go, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you putting a no? That's like the wrong thing to do right now, Jesus." And since I'm gonna try to hit him with an unarmed strike, and I can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple if I hit him. So that's the plan.
Okay.
So here we go for Brunk the wrestler. Oh, I guess I need to use my inspiration. That's a little better.
16 still does not beat his AC. Nerissa, unless you have some kind of play here, he's going to be putting this crown on his head.
That's what I'm looking for right now. I have Mage Hand as a cantrip. Would I be able to like just yoink it with my Mage Hand?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I'm not close enough to like reach him and like hit him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I am within my Mage Hand distance.
It's true. The crown itself doesn't weigh more than 10 pounds. However, he is holding it right now. So what I'm going...
How tightly is he grasping it? Is he like, or is he just like...
And Brunk also like reached out to try and grab him, so this might afford a moment here. We're going to call this a roll against a roll. I'm going to get your Arcana versus your Athletics, Jesus. Nerissa rolls a 17. The Athletics has to beat a 17. Jesus Christ. He gets a fucking -1.
Jesus, why'd you do that?
Nerissa, again, you have the same opportunity. You could use an inspiration to try and re-roll, but you have to get 8. You have to get higher than a 17. You would have to roll to beat his check, or to meet or beat, you would have to roll a 17 or higher.
Might as well try it because this is gonna fail either anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like putting that crown on is gonna make bad things happen. You said Arcana?
Arcana.
Fuck.
That unfortunately is not
Much worse.
better.
Much, much worse.
You guys just fall short. You're not there in time. And Jesus, you take this crown and you put it down on top of your head. And at first it rests on your head as a crown, but it almost feels like a little bit loose as it starts to slip, and you feel it take hold. Something like the spikes on the outside you saw, but like you didn't see any spikes on the inside, but it feels like spikes are like digging into your skull. The visor falls down and slips down like in front of your eyes and blocks your immediate view. And you feel like it feels like spikes in your head, but you guys aren't seeing like blood or anything from him. Jesus. A couple of things happen for you. You are attuned to this crown immediately. I guess we don't even need the unidentified crown here because you'll know what it does. This does require attunement. Attunement required. So, Jesus, the first thing that happens is, in spite of, like, it slips over your eyes and for a moment you're blind, and then you can see again, but you're not looking through just your eyes. Like, you are aware that this thing is in front of your eyes, but you can still see everything around you, clearly. You gain 60 feet of true sight. Your intelligence, I think I can edit the item to do it and have, like, the effect for it. It's going to change your intelligence to 19. Changes, duration, changes. Abilities. Int. Oh, they changed the way this looks. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot more than it was. Hold on one second here. Int. Int value, system's ability, int value 20, or sorry, 19. Override, submit. There we go. So your intelligence is 19. Whilst you wear the crown, it has no effect on you if your intelligence is already 19 or higher. You have advantage on intimidation or persuasion checks when interacting with any shadow-cursed creature. You can use an action to cast one of the following spells: Arms of Hadar, Greater Invisibility, and Shadow Blade. Once the crown is used to cast the spell, it can't be used again until the next dawn. And intelligence is the modifier for those spells. And this is the first thing that everybody notices. And the reason you notice it, Jesus, is because it is one of the most painful things you have ever experienced. You watch as Jesus doubles over onto like onto his knees, like head down, as he starts screaming, and you see as these like leathery, like almost like bat or like demon wings, like just sprout out of his back and like kind of like do like a full like just like stretch. Those are the things that I'm going to say out loud. You can know more about that, but I need you, Jesus, to read your curses privately. They're in the item, under cursed item.
Okay.
That's not good at all.
The other things you notice, he was already pale, so it's really hard to tell this difference, but like his skin kind of like goes from like white to like a gray, like a rough gray. And I think his hair is already white, so nothing changes for that. Yeah, he wears this crown. He falls to his knees. The wings grow and like kind of stretch. And Jesus, again, you can see everything clearly, normally. Nothing is shaded. There's no immediate detriment that you can see or feel, but like something feels off at the same time.
I didn't intend to put it on, but now that I'm wearing it, it doesn't seem as bad as I initially thought.
Well, I really don't think you should be wearing that. Are you able to take it off?
Jesus.
I'll try to take it off, but I'm not sure.
The
It
moment
doesn't it
the
doesn't
the
feel.
moment you go to lift it, you feel like these spikes of like pain in your brain. Um, it, anybody observing, like even looking down in, it doesn't look like there's something physical going inside, but it almost looks like that like shadow, like that ethereal shadow. But spikes of them that are like digging in, and you can see the spikes on the outside of the crown. It looks like it's that same kind of pattern digging into his skull.
I don't think I could get this off, guys.
What if it looks like that shadow stuff? What if we had some more radiant energy? Would you be able to take it off then?
Out of game, I don't like what the curse says. I don't know that, right?
So what the like for the curse thing, the flaw is something that you feel immediately, and obviously, like your skin
Okay,
is that mottled gray. Other than that, you won't really know about the other things until they happen.
okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure how we're gonna get this off.
You don't you don't want to kill us or make us kill each other at all, right?
No, I
I'm
have
like eyeing him suspiciously.
That leads to an important question to you, Jesus. How much do you trust your friends? You've met them only recently.
I
How
trust
does
them
how does
pretty
Jesus
well.
how does Jesus honestly feel about the people around him?
Jesus honestly trusts the people around him. You guys have helped. They've helped us get out of binds together, and we fought well together.
And
I
Lothraxis?
have no. I trust Lothraxis.
You trust
I'm
Lothraxis.
Well, he did save us. He didn't try killing us when Anthos was on us.
Okay. Okay.
So
Nerissa, did you like move? You moved. It looks like you moved away. Did you like drop Rosalia out of your tank and move away in the tank, or like is she like hanging out of the tank still with you?
Oh, I left her with Brunk because he
Left
was.
her with Brunk. So like Brunk has pulled her out. So both her and
Yeah.
Torgrin are just like laying on the deck right now. Lothraxis is like kind of like still kind of like hunched, like kind of sitting down, breathing heavily, kind of looking out to sea.
I was trying to move over closer to Lithraxis to get a vibe for him before Jesus started picking up the crown.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was moving.
This little shadow splodge moves over to Rosalia, and doesn't seem to be apprehensive towards her. Just kind of like sticks close, like she like is kind of like sitting like at her head, just kind of staring down. You can see the little eyes just kind of like blinking at her.
What is that thing? Can I like move closer to it and like see if it'll react to that?
Yeah,
And
like
like say,
you
hey,
move
little buddy.
you move closer and like it's not like the ball doesn't move. It's just the eyes and the mouth that moves on it that kind of like roll up and like look at you, just kind of like quizzically.
Hey, little guy.
Doesn't make any
Isn't the,
sound.
isn't that what's left of the big shadow monster? But that and the crown that our friend is wearing now.
Yeah, that's that's what I thought. I don't know what his deal is. Can I like kind of like nudge him with my fin?
You nudge him with your fin, and it kind of like does a little like slime jiggle.
Does he react in any other way?
Nope, no negative reaction at all. Just kind of like curious more than anything else.
He doesn't seem like he is actively trying to harm us, at least.
I'm going to be honest, I'm a little tired from having to deal with all that other nonsense right now. I really don't want to get into another fight at the moment. Maybe we
Yeah,
just
and
need to, like,
I was looking forward to resting.
maybe we can think about this more as we move forward.
Mm-hmm. I'm on board with that.
yeah, I'm on board for taking a rest.
Uh, Barnabas like kind of like hears you and is like, "Aye, rest sounds good for everybody. Uh, I'm gonna take her back into shore. I don't think we have any shadow monsters to worry about now."
I hope not.
And he brings the ship around and kind of like does like a side park onto the sand so that it'll be easier to take it out again. But he gets outside and he sets up camp again. And sets up the sleeping bags and everything like that. With a couple extra to like lay the other two in, and Lothraxis kind of like looks and says, "Don't bother to put one out for me. I don't think I'll sleep tonight." Is everybody just like tucking in and resting? And that's the plan, trying to take a long rest.
I want to try and keep an eye on Lithraxis and get a better feel for him. Um, might even try talking to him and say like, "Hey, like, so what's your deal?"
Um,
Like once everyone's gone to bed, like privately.
okay. Yeah, we can get into that. Is everybody else just resting?
Oh, I'm probably gonna pass out real fast.
Brunk's falling asleep. Jesus?
Yeah, I'm just going to rest.
Okay. Do, 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 do. So we got Lyric. We can add Torgren. Nerissa. Ignore that there is a wrecked ship here. That doesn't exist now. I just haven't updated this map yet. Once you're on it. I think Lyric, battered and bruised, still rests with Brunk and Dude. In that entire time, both Torgren and Rosalia do not wake up. They're just kind of like laid into like a sleeping spot under the tent. Barnabas sleeps on like sitting up on a barrel just by the fire. And by like just a little, like a few steps away, Nerissa, you join Lithraxis, who is like sitting down and still like he's got like that kind of like low breath and grumble, and you walk up behind him and are just like, "What's your deal?" He kind of looks up with a bit of a snarl and he says, "What's your deal? In the habit of killing your friends?" You're muted.
Not usually. I think that Shadowfin guy did something to me.
He kind of like nods and is like, man, sorry, I'm not in a weird place."
I think we all are. Why did that guy have you trapped in this cave?
He kind of thinks for a second, and he's like, "I didn't start off there. My friends and I were ambushed."
Ambushed?
The war was beginning. The world was calling for aid. My friends and I gathered to meet and discuss what would happen. Strange beings like the ones we faced came for us at a spot that was supposed to be secret. And kind of closes his eyes and like in a way like it almost looks like he's in pain the way his face looks, because he's trying to recall a memory that like he's been, who knows how long he's been in that crystal for.
I like put my hand on his back and I'm like,
flinch.
It's okay.
As soon as you touch him, he flinches.
I'm sorry.
No, not you.
I like slowly put my hand back.
Yeah. This time he relaxes. Like now, again, it was just like a flinch reaction. Like he understands you're friendly. Says I was a mighty dragon once, you know. Kind of looks off into the distance. When they came for us, whatever they did to us took our power. He looks over at Zalia sleeping, or Lyric sleeping on Brunk, and says, "You wouldn't believe it looking at her, but that may be one of the most powerful beings in this world."
I noticed you called her Zalia. Was she one of the 7 Knights of Aetherios?
7 Knights, yeah. I guess that's what they would call them. They were friends. And before they were 7, they were 5. In my younger years, you get bored as a being that lives for long times. I caused trouble, maybe more than I probably should have, as dragons are wont to do. 5 of them came to stop me. And when they did, instead of killing me like any adventurers would, they... He chuckles and he's like, they offered me food.
Good way to win a person over.
Well, it was Throg. He was an insanely good chef. And instead of trying to take revenge or feeding into my anger, I walked out of my cave that day with friends. Something I had never experienced in my life.
They're pretty wonderful to have.
It started with 5, and then 2 came from the stars, from out there. He looks over and he's like, Zelia was one of them. They came warning of danger, of evil, of darkness. And on our quest, we found things that maybe, I guess, we shouldn't have. Or can't have. And they came for us. And I don't know who they were working with, and I don't know who they were. All I remember was the shadows and the darkness and the feeling of dread as I watched my friends dragged away. When I don't know what happened to most of them. I thought they had killed Throg. I felt my connection with him break. And I fled. But where they had taken us, no mortal dare tread. You are a child of the sea. What do you know of the Underdeep?
I don't think I know anything of it. Do I know of the Underdeep? I don't think I.
The Underdeep, what you would know would be fairy tales. The Underdeep is like the sea's version of hell. It is the
Okay.
place where like the aquatic aberrations would live, like leviathans and why can't I think of it now? Like the Kraken, like the idea
Okay.
of like mythical sea demons, like that. The Underdeep tells of mythical sea demons, a place where nothing living or nothing good can tread.
Okay.
He says
Mostly myths.
it's real. It's real. It's all real.
Oh.
I escaped into obscene nothingness. And I mean, before I knew what I was, or before I could take in my surroundings and do something to help my friends, I was captured. By the one that you know as Anthos.
So he's not as friendly as he seems.
Friendly? I mean,
He was friendly to us.
he kind of like you see like a little bit of flame like kind of like burrowing at his mouth as he kind of like just scoffs, and he's like, where that thing comes from, friendship should not be capable.
Was he from the Underdeep?
Yes. Anthos captured me in the Underdeep. I don't know if he knew who I was or not, but he sealed me in that crystal chamber, and I have been there since.
Okay. So you don't know if he knows where the other, I guess, friends of Aetherios are.
No, I thought everyone died. I didn't know if anybody else escaped. I thought everyone was dead. The only confirmation I have is that Zelia is alive. And regardless of how she looks, I will always be able to recognize her scent.
Are you able to understand her?
No, what she speaks in that song,
Mm-hmm.
that's how they spoke to each other. Her and Makala.
Oh, the moon save.
Hmm.
Sorry, we found a page that mentioned you guys. It didn't really tell us much though, but
We were well known in Aetherios, that is, to be sure. But the idea of sacrifice, we were planning to fight. We were going to take up arms against the Shadow King. We were gathering to make a plan and to take ships and airships towards Dominion to push them back before things got too grave. And he looks at the barrier. And he's like, that is not protection. That is a prison.
I was wondering what might be in there.
Could be a thriving society. Could be nothing. Could be aged dead. Undead. We protected this place.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not connected to my kin anymore. I don't feel the dragons. I don't feel Throg. He looks over at Lyric and he's like, I barely feel her.
Did you feel her before seeing her?
He's like, he goes, no, I again, those that come from out there, from the beyond, they smell different. Not off, but, peculiar. So, I smelled her. And I knew.
And there's a small chance they might still be alive somewhere. It's just a connection that's been severed.
He nods and kind of like says nothing, just kind of like looks back out to the sea.
Thank you for all your help.
Thank you for setting me free.
It's not right to keep people trapped like that. Also, we needed the crystal.
He kind of chuckles and he's like, that's fair. I don't know if my friends are trapped like I was. I don't know if any of them are alive. It's not up to you to do so. But if they are trapped, if they are made to have suffered like I suffered, I would appreciate your help in freeing them.
I know I would be happy to. I can't speak for everyone, but I want to know more about what happened, and the only way to get answers is to find more people.
Beyond that, one thing that I can tell you is that they were using our power to make that, and he points at the barrier again.
I had a feeling that might have been the case.
If more of us are freed and our power restored, it's very possible that it will take that power away and be able to break the barrier.
And it's the Shadow King that's in there?
He looks in there, he's like, I don't know what's in there. The people of Aetherios, hopefully.
We found this frog and this duck. Toman? That name sound familiar at all?
The wizard.
Yeah. Yeah, his frog is also named Toman now. We found his place, and I don't know, something just gave me a weird vibe when we were there. But there was like a whole area that we weren't allowed in, and they had another crystal, I think. They had some sort of source of magic in their lighthouse that seemed very similar to the healing crystal that you were in.
Toman was friends with the group. He was there. He was there. He was there when we were attacked.
Was he attacked too?
I don't know.
Toman himself
To be clear,
wasn't there.
he was in the Underdeep when we were attacked.
He wasn't at the lighthouse when we went there, just his familiars. But I don't know, there's something weird going on over there as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how... Why did we meet there? It was a secure place. Not safe, but safe from our attackers. Why is Anthos here? Why were... Like, he's kind of like getting himself into a bit of a huff as more like information is coming back. It's like, why are we here?
Like here on this island?
Yes. Why take us from... Why bring me here? The Underdeep would have been more like it's vast. It's pockets of nothingness. You can. I mean, Anthos would have a better idea of how to navigate it. So why would he bring me back here?
Something to do with the barrier?
Looks up at it again. Okay. Could be more close then?
So I'm wondering, like I said, there's like a magic source in the lighthouse that seemed similar to what you were, like the crystal you were trapped in. Toman the frog told us that Toman the wizard was inside the barrier. But they haven't seen him since the barrier went up.
It seems like we have some answers. Or some questions that need answers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like nods, gestures back towards the group in the beds, and he's like, "You should probably try to get some rest then."
You gonna be okay?
Kind of like looks back out to sea, and he's like, "I don't know. Ask me again tomorrow." And he kind of like grows silent and just kind of like stares out, and you just watch as he kind of like gloss-eyed, just like looks out at the sea.
Just gonna roll back quietly and tuck in for the night as well.
No, we can just charge that. Everybody can go ahead and long rest. Boop, boop, boop. Hold on. I think you... Where are we? Where's, PCs? Jesus Christ. When you do your long rest, or before you do your long rest, Jesus, we need a D6 roll. 4 is good. You get your spell slots back. You can long rest your character. I think, Jesus, during the night, you still have intense dreams. Mostly of the shadow monsters that you had just fought. Like the face of that Shadowfin King hunter kind of like is all you can picture for a little while. But every now and then you also catch these glimpses of this armored, hulking, brutish humanoid clad in like dark armor from head to toe, wearing a crown very similar to yours, but the spikes are like curved out more. That's it though. No other details currently.
Okay.
Awakening in the morning. Rosalia wakes up. Torgrin does not. Checking on him, he's still alive. He's still breathing. There's warmth in his cheeks. His blood is flowing. But he is still fully unconscious. Barnabas is with her in the morning, and they're kind of like chatting back and forth as they're assessing him. He calls everybody over, Lithraxis included, like gets the group nice and close. And he looks at you guys and says, "All right, crew, we have some choices to make. This island is not what it seems, nor are its people. This is something that we likely need to investigate." But he looks down at Torgrin. It's like, but we have our kin to think of too, and we have the ability to go back home, where we can get him proper treatment, and where we can get our bearings a little bit more first as well. I am not above keeping him on the ship and taking care of him until you are ready to go. And I will leave it up to you three as our expedition crew. You can stay and continue to explore and go after or interrogate or do whatever you have to do. Or we can head home and see what is happening back there.
I think the first thing we need to do is discuss breakfast.
Huh?
Who wants to make decisions on an empty stomach?
That is a valid point.
Also, how's Mirabelle doing?
Mirabelle is fully healed, looking closer to her former self. And Barnabas says, "Thanks to y'all, or thanks to you all and Lyric. Mirabelle's fine, thankfully." Rosalia gets up and she's like, "I'm feeling great. I can probably get a kind of breakfast going." And as she gets up, she acknowledges you, Nerissa, but she like avoids eye contact, and like walks by you without kind of like any kind of welcome. It's not warm.
I mean, I deserve that.
From the supplies that they had, she still has like plenty of like bacon and stuff like that, so she manages to make a delicious breakfast for everybody. And sitting down around the campfire to eat your breakfast, she eats pretty quietly, doesn't really say much. You notice that every now and then she'll look over at Torgrin with a worried look. Barnabas kind of like holds down his breakfast and hums a tune to himself as everybody else eats. Jesus still with this like weird crown blocking his eyes, looking a little bit demented. Great. Barnabas grabs a little extra plate of breakfast, actually, thinking about it. And he's like, none of you are going to want to look at this next part. And he, like, chews the food and, like, baby birds it into Torgrin's mouth so that he can get some nutrients. Like, wash it down with water.
Absolutely right. I did not want to look at that.
I warned you.
Shudder.
Somber and quiet around the campfire. Rosalia, like I said, doesn't say much. Barnabas doesn't say much. He's tending to Torgrin. Lothraxis is the first to kind of pipe up and say, "So what is our next step?" As far as I'm concerned, you freed me. I'll go wherever you guys go. But I would like to find my friends, and if I was locked here and Zelia was locked here, the likelihood is that more of us are here.
This big green bubble thing seems to cover the entire island. Where would you want to look?
He's like, Anthos may hold more questions. Last night, Nerissa made note that the familiars of Toman were also suspicious.
Brunk, isn't that actually where you found Lyra?
Yeah, she was in this like egg thing that I found, and I'll pull it out. I'll like rummage in my pack and pull it out. Like it was this like puzzle thing, and I just kind of started fiddling with it and didn't know what exactly I was doing with it, and then it just boop opened, and she was like laying there in my hands. She was adorable. You're adorable.
La la la.
And I called her Lyric because I couldn't understand what she was saying, and she sounded like music, and lyric's like a word for music stuff, and you know, that was that.
He nods.
It is a very fitting name.
She is quite the songbird. Lyric is a fitting name indeed.
What did you say her actual name was though?
Zelia.
Zelia. I'll have to. I've gotta. I'm gonna have to get used to that. If I call you Lyric, I apologize. I hope that's not offensive.
She gives you a thumbs up. Kind of like pats your neck and like gives you a big hug. She's taken quite a liking to you. She kind of like, Lithraxis kind of looks you up and down, and it's like, yeah, that tracks.
I'd like to find your friends too, but it might be helpful to go to the mainland and get materials, gather resources, then come back.
I mean, we could always go back up the coast there and go visit the twins and see if they're see if they can, maybe they'd be willing to shine a little bit more light on it. I mean, we could try.
We could definitely try that.
Yeah, I'd be okay. I'd be up for going up and checking with them before we think about our next step.
He looks and he says, what about Anthos?
I mean, do we want to go like, are you suggesting we go kick his ass while he's licking his wounds?
He looks and says, I'm merely noting that now that I'm free, he doesn't have a reason to be nearly as friendly.
I mean, yeah, he's not going to be nice to us anymore, which is a shame because I kind of enjoyed dancing with his little buddies, but unfortunately now we've killed a bunch of them, so I guess they're not buddies anymore. And that makes me sad. I don't know who I'm going to dance with now.
I'm sure you'll find a better company than the spawn of a demon.
Yeah. You're probably right. Speaking of which, I need to go do my morning exercises. I'll be back here in just a second. And he like wanders over to the side and starts stretching and doing his yoga stuff.
Barnabas joins you. I think
Oh.
Rosalia joined you the day before. I think Rosalia joined you for yoga as well.
Hey, by the way, Rosalia, do you need any spices for that? Whatever it is you were looking to make for breakfast.
Oh,
I got this little pouch thing, and apparently you can magically pull whatever spices you want out of it, but I don't really know anything about spices, so if you like got one you want, we can just like I can ask for it. Flavor things up a little bit.
All we had was salt. So pepper would be great.
Yeah. We could ask. I could ask it for pepper, and I'll like loudly be like, "Give me pepper," and then like reach into the pouch, and like pull out a handful of pepper, like, is this enough? And I mean, it's like a pile of pepper. I'm gonna guess, like a lot.
Yeah.
Does this like, does it like disappear if it goes unused, or should I like put it in find a container for it?
Belt pouch appears empty. It has 10 charges. While holding the pouch, you can use an action to expend a charge, speak the name, and remove a pinch of the desired seasoning from the pouch. Enough to season a single meal.
Oh, I mean, maybe it's not that much.
You just expend all your charges for a handful of pepper.
Oh no, I'm not gonna ask for. I'm not trying to do that much. I'm just making one request. No, that'd be too much.
She
So
sees,
maybe it's just a little bit in my palm of my hand. It's like right there, just like
yeah, just like sprinkle it over the food, whatever leftovers we have.
I'll just. Okay.
She like takes a bite of the spiced bacon now, and she's like, "Oh, it's so much better." She's like, "That could come in handy. That could definitely come in handy."
Do you know how to cook, Roselia? Because like, I'd like to learn how to cook. I think it would be right to know how to, like I can do the exercise stuff, but I really need to learn a little bit better how to, you know, keep track of my macros and my proteins, my carbs, my fats, my intake and stuff like that. So I, if you know how to cook, I'd love to get some tips.
She's like, "I could probably teach you some simple things."
Yeah,
I
like
know.
how not to burn water.
Yeah. The biggest thing is I'd need like kind of like
Jules.
we could work with a campfire for a few things. I can show you some campfire tricks, but otherwise I'd need like a proper like stove to work with to show you the real cooking.
That sounds like a plan. And he's going to go back to doing his exercises.
Mm-hmm. Barnabas says, "So I'm hearing that you're going to the tower. Or we're gonna, we can take the ship anywhere now. It's gonna be much easier to travel around the island."
Yeah, we're not like swimming or nothing, and we're not taking that little fold-up boat thingy either.
No. So I can bring you to the lighthouse.
Does anybody else think it's weird that our friend kind of just disappeared in the middle of that fight and we still haven't seen her again?
Yeah, I really hope she's okay.
I feel like she got like transported into another dimension or something.
Mm. I hope her wild magic is taking care of her wherever she is.
Flash
Maybe
cut to her like on like an island of just like snakes.
that's not good.
Well, Stretch is out of the way. We need to finalize a decision. We can take you over to the lighthouse, take you anywhere else on the island, or we could head back home for a little bit. It's a few days' journey. But back home we can get supplies.
I say we go talk to the super intelligent familiar guys that are at the tower before we before we do anything else. Maybe they'll talk to Lithraxis the way considering they wouldn't talk to us before or wouldn't, give us information and stuff.
I'm open to paying them a visit.
I'm done for paying them a visit too.
Hey, what's that thing on your head? Why is it still on your head? You sleep in that thing?
Yeah, it doesn't want to come off.
Do you need a Do we need to get like a crowbar or something and pry it off of your head? You look
Can
different.
we?
Try.
What's with the wings? Those are crazy. Can you
Mhm.
actually fly with those things?
That's a good question.
I haven't tried. I'm gonna try flying just a few feet off the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, now easily done. Like, these wings are fully functional.
Well,
How did you
that's
describe them again? What do
They're
they
like,
look like?
almost like demon, shadowy, like bat wings.
Oh, great.
hmm. Well,
Um,
that's
you can fly up to an hour per day. Jesus.
Uh-oh. Better track that time.
That's
Get you a stopwatch.
yeah. I'm gonna land for
Just a
now,
little
but that's
last on his wrist that he just can
fantastic.
kind of twist.
Yeah. It's based on your con modifier. Barnabas starts to like pack everything up. Um, to like put back onto the ship, and he's like, "All right, we leave shortly." Once again, like he helps Roselia helps him bring Torgrin onto the ship. They set up like a nice, comfortable spot for him in the middle deck where he can just lay. Um, Roselia is not just. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I'll get everybody to give me a perception check. Jesus and Nerissa. Nerissa, you were already taking notice that Rosalia was avoiding you and is being weird with you, but when you look at like when you'll catch her glancing at Jesus, and Jesus, you're seeing this as well because like even though she can't like meet your eyes, you're still seeing as if you're seeing through your eyes. You can see her. She will steal glances at Jesus and look very anxious before she masks it and hides it away while doing what she's doing.
I would like to approach her cautiously and basically just like, hey, I'm really sorry about what happened on the ship. I I don't know what came over me, but I think the Shadowfin King must have cast something on me or something. I would never do anything to hurt you intentionally of my own will. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead and give me. Let's call it persuasion. She seems to warm a little bit. She still doesn't like. She doesn't embrace you. She doesn't reach out to touch you or anything. But she nods with acceptance and says, "Being around you enough, I know that that wasn't you. But that was still really traumatic."
I have no doubt. Are you healing up okay?
She kind of like feels, and she's like, "Scars are gone. Everything seems good. It's the memory more than anything else."
Of course.
I, I know it wasn't you. I know it wasn't you. Don't let
Yeah.
that weigh too deeply on you. I know it wasn't you.
I appreciate that. And being honest, the fact that it wasn't me makes me very anxious that Jesus is wearing that crown right now.
She kind of like bites the inside of her cheek and kind of glances up and looks. And she's like, "Yeah, it's that's not good."
Do you recognize the crown?
Looks up. No. Go ahead and roll an insight. She's very clearly lying. Just, I've never seen that before. But it doesn't look good. It's got shadow smoke coming off of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna just pretend that I didn't know she's lying and just be like, well, whatever it is, we should try to figure out more about it. I don't know if I trust it on one of our party members' heads.
Yes, the question is how we get it off.
I wonder if we'd be able to get it off if there was like some sort of radiant light being used. I don't have radiant powers, but that seemed to be what all the shadow creatures were weak to.
She nods. She's like, Jesus, do you mind if I try to use some radiance on the crown to try and get it off?
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
She walks over and kind of like puts both hands on the crown very cautiously. Goes to kind of like charge it with a flare of radiance. And Jesus, you immediately get like this burning, searing sensation in your skull, like in your brain. Your brain feels like it's on fire right now.
S- uh, I don't think this is working. This is just, I just start screaming in pain.
Takes her hands away immediately. Um, as you're like screaming in pain, and like once she removes her hands, that pain stops.
Yeah, I don't think that's the way to get this thing off.
Hmm.
Flash, Rosalia tried to use a bit of radiance to try and remove the crown, and it caused Jesus like excruciating pain.
Ouch.
She genuinely looks like she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I'm willing to try anything to get this off.
She goes, he's too powerful. And then corrects herself. She's like, it's just too powerful.
he's too powerful?
Sorry, what?
You give her a weird look. You said he's too powerful.
No, I said it's too powerful. Like the crown.
Hey.
Whatever magic is keeping hold on Jesus, it's an incredibly powerful magic. Probably some form of deep curse. You'd need somebody with more skill than I could to be able to remove it, I think.
Hopefully we can find somebody who has that skill then.
She looks at Torgrin again, like just eyes on him. She's like, I wish he was awake. He'd know what to do.
That little slime ball that came with the crown, what's...
Oh, it's still there. It woke up with Rosalia, and she hasn't noticed till now, but it's on her head. Like,
How does she react to noticing?
she hasn't noticed yet. You can see it on top of her head. Nobody has said anything about it.
Okay. It looks like you've got a friend, Rosalia.
She's like, what now?
The little shadow thingy that we found with the crown.
Uh-huh.
It's on your head.
She kind of like does like a look up, can't really see anything, reaches her hand up, and like goes to like pull it off and throw it, and when she goes to throw it, it kind of like Spider-Man's from her hand, but like rubber bands back to her hand, and just kind of like you watch as the eyes and mouth kind of like look up at her, and like just like a little like bubble blows from its mouth, and she screams. It's like, get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off. And like she's trying to like snap it away, but it like won't like leave her hand. Like she manages at one point to like wave hard enough that it just like it unsticks, but like flies over and hits her other hand and sticks back on, and it's just like kind of like.
It seems to like you and doesn't seem to mean any harm.
Just like kind of like staring at it as it like kind of like she like gets it up close and it crawls and like jumps onto her face and it's like almost like hugging her face.
Can I like go over and try to like peel it off?
You go to peel it off and once again it's like a cheese pull. Like you like pull it like and it just keeps going like a little bit thinner until like you can see like its face, its little eyes and its little mouth are like kind of looking at you, but it's like fully cheese pulled from her face, and now she's like mortified, just like screaming again.
I'm gonna look at it and be like, can you maybe give our friend some personal space? Like some more yanking.
Doesn't unstick.
I'm not gonna let go of it when it's that far. I'm gonna like gently, just like slowly put it back and be like,
Yeah, kind of like full to form. Like when you do let go, there is that little bit of snap as it snaps back into that little like orb shape.
so it doesn't seem to want to come off, Rosalia. I don't know. I tried pulling on it.
She's like, ugh. Well, it doesn't seem to be hurting me. It hasn't told me to kill anyone.
That's good.
And she like goes like to stick it from unstick it from her face, and it's like stuck to her hand again. She's like, it is kind of cute.
It's very cute.
She's like, well, I guess if all you guys in your guild have slimes, I might as well have one too, right?
I think so.
She's like, I'm gonna name you Pest. And just kind of like...
Good name.
She kind of like sticks it onto her shoulder, and it just kind of hangs out there.
I'm gonna look over at Jesus and be like, now that you mention it, Rosalia, hey Jesus, you haven't had any urges to kill anyone since putting the crown on, right?
No, I haven't had any.
Okay. All right. Let us know if that starts to change. And I'm gonna like eye him suspiciously again. Not him specifically, but like the crown.
Jesus, I need you to read over that flaw and play into that. He's still like, so he's got this fucking crazy crown. You can't even really see his eyes. It's hard to fucking know his intent now. But he hasn't tried to kill you guys yet, so it's a plus. Barnabas gets everything onto the ship, gets Torgrin onto the ship. Finally, like, gathers all of you onto the ship, and he's like, all right, Toman's Lighthouse, here we go. And as he, like, sails everybody over, spirits, in spite of everything, are good. You've rescued Torgrin, which is nice. So Rosalia is at least at ease in that space, even though he's not conscious. Lothraxis, again, is quite quiet on this little ship ride. And kind of like sits on the head of the ship, not really talking to anybody. You arrive, and when you get there, the door is busted open.
That's not good.
You walk into the entrance, and you don't see Toman or Ned. There's not... There's an absence here, like there are smashed things, like the tables and chairs are kind of like smashed up. It looks like there was some kind of fight that happened here. There appear to be scorch marks that probably came from one of Ned's fireballs. And there are big, like, gouges, like, that are, like, carved out of certain sections of the wall.
What kind of gouges?
Give me a survival check. $15? These are claw marks for sure. I guess survival probably wouldn't have been the right roll there. But your roll's still good enough that you would... Yeah, you'd be able to notice that it is specifically, like, claw marks.
Okay. Can I tell
Or
like
not...
what kind of claws?
Crab claws? something pincer-like, something that like a single claw, like big, huge marks, big gouges.
Like
Like Anthos?
Anthos?
Like maybe Anthos.
Should do that. I think
I mean,
Anthos
isn't he
was
the one who
here.
sent us here to begin with? Didn't he send us this direction the
He
first time we
did.
met him?
He
Not
did. That was before we attacked him.
Or he at least suggested we go look over here in this area for the materials we were trying to find?
Mm-hmm.
I think he directed you towards Chiaspora.
Right.
We just saw the lighthouse and wanted to come check it out.
Gosh, it feels like we should be extra thorough and search the entire structure
I
for
wonder
any
if we can get
clues
up.
or information that we might find useful of any kind or
Mm,
type.
I think that's a great idea. I wonder if we can get upstairs now.
Do you guys like head upstairs right away, or do you investigate the bottom floor first?
Oh,
I mean, I want to be a bit like more careful about it than just charging upstairs. I want to see what I can find from like where we are first and then make our way up.
Okay. Investigating the first floor here. Go ahead and everybody give me investigation checks. All fantastic. I mean, obviously a scuffle as noted. There's more and more signs that something big was in here, which would point to Anthos as you kind of like look at the way things are smashed. Um, you do find feathers, duck feathers, a few of them, um, and on those higher investigations, you also find a piece of what appears to be Toman the Frog's cloak.
is there any evidence that anybody was killed?
None that you can see. No blood. But more peculiar than anything else, the pictures that adorned the walls are also destroyed. And with that investigation from everybody, it looks deliberate.
I don't think Anthos or whoever else was here wanted information about the Knights of Ethereos getting out.
Why would you say that? Keep in mind, I'm not privy to the conversation that you had with Lithraxis the night before.
Is Lithraxis in here with us?
Lithraxis is standing outside the doorway.
Lithraxis told me some things that are just making me suspicious of Anthos and
I mean, it looks like something
a
like
lot more
Anthos
on this
or...
island.
I mean, it looks like Anthos might have been responsible for all this. Like,
I think so. But I
maybe.
think his motives have something to do with why he had Lithraxis trapped.
I mean,
And I
well,
think why he had Lithraxis trapped has something to do with the big barrier.
is Lithraxis able to take the big barrier down or something?
I don't think so. I think they were. Lithraxis told me they were ambushed. They didn't sacrifice themselves willingly. I think they were trapped in order to make the barrier.
But if Lithraxis isn't trapped anymore, does that mean the barrier is going to disappear? And I'll like literally walk to the door and look at the barrier, like squint at it. Does it look different?
Give me a perception check. On a 16, I mean, it looks very much the same. It's still that, like, bright, vibrant, see-through green. But looking close enough, it does appear that, like, the green light isn't as vibrant. It's not dimmed a lot, but it has dimmed.
Huh. It looks a little not bright. Not as bright.
Must have happened when we freed Lithraxis.
Or maybe the battery needs to be recharged. I don't know what a
Yeah,
battery
let's go
is.
find a plug. I don't know what a plug is.
We need to search a little bit more inside the
Yeah.
thing here.
Mm-hmm. From where we are, can we see Lithraxis? Like, can I get like a vibe for how he's doing since we're like at a place he should be familiar with, or at least like his allies?
He looks, he looks like he's on the hunt. Like he's posted at the door and he's just like looking back and forth and like sniffing the air, and like he looks very aggressive with his posture. Like he's like, it looks like he's ready to like just fucking throw down.
Oh, I think he's guarding the door pretty well. I think it's safe to go upstairs.
Okay. We can go take a peeky poo.
You go up.
Was there anything left to explore downstairs that we haven't really explored?
No, it's really it's a fairly open space, right? So I mean, like,
Yeah.
aside from the regular, like, their kitchenware is still there. The stocks of food are probably still there.
Grab me an apple.
There you go. Yeah, grab an apple. Like the amenities don't seem to be touched. It seems to be like there was a scuffle for sure, but there's things here that make it look deliberate as well. There's certain things that seem to be that have been more of a focus than others.
Does it look like there's anything missing? Like something was taken? Other
Something
than
that we would have seen
like,
before.
Not from the first floor.
okay. All right, let's head upstairs.
You head upstairs, go to the second floor. That's where your bedrooms were. You guys did a pretty good job of investigating this floor previously. I won't make you roll here. You don't find anything new up here. It is also somewhat trashed. Not as there are small markings here, but not like the big gouges that look like they came from Anthos downstairs. It does appear that the rooms were tossed. Now, knowing that Anthos was here, probably by smaller crabs. And the pictures that adorned the kind of wall, like that was like going up the stairs, you could find more pictures. Those are either destroyed or gone.
Like he was trying to destroy evidence of a connection here of some sort.
Mm-hmm. You get up to the next floor, and it appears that this is where it would end. There's no stairs that go up further that you can visibly see. But knowing the size of this structure, there's no possible way this is the top. Because there's still, like, the whole lighthouse structure, too. This area appears to be more bedrooms. And also appears to be, like, a common area there as well. It seems to have, like, a small library. There appears to be, like, some kind of magical setup, almost like a divination setup. And the ceiling is adorned with markings of stars.
Oh, that's a cool ceiling.
Mm-hmm. As I'm going around, I'm like just like fiddling with things, seeing if I can see like anything that'll like open like a secret entrance or like
Go ahead.
anything that.
Give me another investigation check. You tug at books, you look at lamps, you pull, like, what you think are levers. You don't see anything evident or obvious that would lead to a secret door.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I've read a lot of books where there's like secret entrances and stuff, and it's always when you like lean on a lever that's not actually like that doesn't look like a lever, or like you pull a book, or I don't know. So I just thought maybe there might be something like that here.
I'm gonna like look around for something to like pull on. Something near me.
Yeah,
Just for giggles.
just for giggles.
Like I'm trying to do the same thing she's doing, like
Okay.
find something and just like give it a good tug.
Yeah, you reach over to, like, what appears to be, like, a magically fueled, like, lamp and just, like, lift it. Or lift it or pull it. Pull a book off a shelf.
Look at it. Set it back down. Start looking at books.
You do that, and, like, in a goofy way, and Lyric goes, la 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 la, and as Lyric starts singing, stars start glowing on the ceiling.
Whoa.
And it seems that each note that she makes with her voice, a different, like, set of stars blink.
Lyric, keep singing.
La 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 la
Wait.
la 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 la.
Wait.
Huh?
Is there music around here somewhere? Like musical pages?
Give me an investigation check.
Song pages?
I will also help look.
Yep.
You should probably roll yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You remember you were pulling all those books trying to frantically find, like, a lever or something. And about 3 of the books that were on the shelf that you were pulling off were all different songbooks.
Yes. And I like go over and I grab them. I'm like, I found these earlier. I'll show them to like Lyric. I'll show them to Brunk first, and then be like, wait.
Yeah, I can't make heads or tails of that.
Yeah, I know. Lyric.
But maybe there's like maybe the stars react to a song.
Yeah.
Or more than one song. Like they react to whenever she was singing, they were lighting up. But what if a song is supposed to make them And then his brain explodes because he's been thinking too hard.
Huh. Lyric looks at the...
He like starts scratching his head. He's like, my head hurts.
You open the book and start like showing her the pages, and she
I
looks
will
down
like
and
that.
she's just like, la, la.
Lyric doesn't know how to read music either. Is there any sort of like instrument in the room that music can be played on? Or like
There is.
anything that can produce?
Yeah, there is on this floor, because again, like there's a common area in like the corner. There is a viol, a lute, like a little set of drums, and what appears to be like, it looks like it looks clearly like a microphone, but it is made of like wood, and like instead of having a microphone top, it's got like a crystal attached to it.
Hmm.
We're in the wrong campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna look at all the other instruments, realize they're all too complicated, and then like pick up the maybe microphone thing and try to like sight read this music just based on like where the notes are. Just be like la 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 la, la and see if anything happens.
Go ahead and give me... I'm assuming that Nerissa doesn't know how to read sheet music normally.
If he doesn't know how to play any instruments, probably not. Maybe you could do whatever you want with that, but I assume I couldn't because I couldn't. I don't know how to play any instruments.
I don't know how to.
You don't have any
No,
natural performative ability.
no, I don't. But I do know, like, just me personally, I learned how to read sheet music in high school, and I remember thinking, oh, this is very straightforward. You just follow, like, when the note is higher, it's higher. When it's lower, it's lower. And like, if you know what the first note you're using is, you can just like I remember thinking, this is very intuitive. So I know I'm not Nerissa, but like, could she maybe just like look at them and be like, let's give it a shot? She doesn't have any like natural singing abilities or anything, but
Okay. Go ahead and give me a performance check with disadvantage.
that's fair.
I mean, you are trying your best. You are trying your best. For the rest of the team, it's like listening to a cat being dragged through hell.
Is anything happening up above, like with the ceiling?
Uh,
Anything at all?
Like one little star lights up.
yeah, one little section lights up. And
She accidentally hits the right note.
but it could be from her, or it could be from Lyric, who is like singing one note while crying. You hear from the first floor Barnabas go, "Who's dying up there?"
Okay. I like put the mic back and like roll myself back. Okay. Something happened though up with the ceiling. I don't know. After I stop, does Lyric immediately stop crying, or is she still crying a little bit? Is the star still
Is she like
twinkling?
laughing and crying?
No, she's just crying. like at the end of 7 crying. And like fully like after you stop, like she's still like kind of like got like the tears flowing. And she like buries herself under your like whatever like soft padding you have under your armor. She like buries herself under that.
Is the star still twinkling, or did that stop when I stopped singing?
When you stop with the note, the star also stops twinkling.
Okay, so clearly I'm not very good, but I think these definitely are tied to the ceiling in some way. I think you're onto something with that, Brunk. I'm
We
not
need
gonna try again though.
we need somebody smarter to figure this out. Somebody who has all the skills.
Uh, I could uh, I could try
It-
figuring it out.
Yeah, Jesus, roll a perception check for me, if you would. Jesus, you feel like you're being watched.
I'm uh, I'm getting an odd feeling that we're being watched, guys.
What? What do you mean?
Start like looking around at
Who's
the
being
windows.
watched? Like I'm looking,
Well,
I'm like
sure.
looking right at him, like staring at him, like, yeah, you're being watched, all right. Because you've turned into a creepy dude with the demon wings and the crown that you can't take off. And you got dust or something all over your skin now. It's weird. I'm watching you.
I bring the sheet music over to Jesus. Jesus, do you know anything about music?
Uh, I, I don't know anything about music, but I'll give it a try. See if I could get anything from it.
Before a performance, I want you to roll an investigation check for me. Because again, you also don't have any musical knowledge, but you also have.
Didn't he get the skill proficiency grand charm?
Yeah, he did. He's proficient in everything.
I'm just rolling terrible.
And out of game, he knows his intelligence has like
19
gone
now.
up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So he just rolled really bad. Wait.
I mean,
Yeah, +4, +3. Yeah, that's right. He just rolled really bad. He rolled a 5. Jesus, you have no idea what this says. You feel very knowledgeable, but like you've never really had a inkling for music.
Yeah, I don't think I can help out this, guys. I can't figure it out.
No.
Rosalia looks just like, don't look at me. I've got a terrible singing voice.
Can be worse than mine.
It's probably up there. It's probably up there. Let's just say I wasn't in choir during training, during cleric training.
That's fair. So no duets tonight, I guess.
maybe there's a book on musical theory that you can learn about music in here.
Mm.
I mean, I won't make you roll for it. You didn't really see anything on this floor for musical theory. And like really like looking at the books that were there with the song, like the song books, they were kind of out of place. Like all the other books on the shelves are things like plant knowledge, like little bits of history, like common history, um, things regarding like information about weapons, or like the different like classifications and types of weapons and armor. There's like encyclopedia, like fucking collections, just volumes and volumes of different stuff. Um, but these three books were like particularly like put in this place on that shelf among like all of these weird encyclopedias and stuff like that. Like it was very out of place for the subject matter.
It means something.
I feel like
Or
we
it
should
means
hold
nothing.
on to these books. I think it means something. Like if they're the only music books here and the ceiling responds to it, like there's no way this is the top floor of this building. You saw how tall the tower was. We've got to find a way up there.
And get everybody to give me an Arcana roll as well.
Come on, natural 20. Or the 3. We all are idiots.
I think Jesus, I can give you the 12 here. Not as much information as you would have gotten on a higher roll, but at the very base level, when you guys walked in here the last time, you felt a like intense wave of raw magic or powerful magic, which was the light tower. Everybody was in a bit of a rush to get inside, but now that you think about it, no light was coming from the lighthouse when you guys pulled up. And now that you've like had some time to focus, you don't feel the same magical energy that you did. This place still feels like intensely magical, like there is a lot of magic within this place, but like it was a very particular feeling that is just not there now. Jesus, you're very quiet.
Guys, I don't feel the power source anymore. I don't
No?
I don't
So somebody else stole
I
a
think
power source to make their ship?
I think this is what Anthos came for.
I'm gonna like wheel over to the window and like see if I can see.
Peeking your head out, like it was hard to see the top, but like what you don't see or like what you notice now that it's pointed out is the absence of the light, because it was that like rotating light like a regular lighthouse operates.
So Anthos came and stole the power source to replace the one that we took from him?
Seems like that might be what happened.
Oh boy.
And smashed all the pictures to hide the connection probably between the two crystals. I bet. What if there's somebody trapped in the crystal that was in the lighthouse? Just like Lithraxis was trapped. That's why he didn't want the evidence of the connection being left behind. Like their friendship. You know?
I guess we're gonna have to go back and confront Lithrax, or I mean, Anthos after all. Well, I guess we can go and see what's what.
One last thing. I'll get everybody once again to. I'll get a perception check here. This is a potential of noticing something at a glance. Jesus, now like a little bit more aware and thinking about things. You take a glance over to the bookshelf again. Brunk as well. Both of you look... Again, the order of this bookshelf, the arrangement of this bookshelf was strange. Had encyclopedias about nature and history and practical things. But again, like you said, I mean, strange to have music books and no books on music theory. Also noticeably absent is any book regarding the Seven Knights of Etherios, though a page was found here. A few of the books that you see, there's other ones, like I said, there's ones on weapons and armor and things like that. But one particular book that now, looking at a closer glance, seems to be a bit more worn than the others, is a book for transference. So the concept of putting energy or magic or even a person's essence into an item or a weapon or armor or equipment. Not just to enhance abilities, but for use of things like concepts for wizards being able to transport large amounts of people or things. All of it just conceptual. All of it just like kind of like again, like it's an encyclopedia, so it's like general knowledge. Obviously like wizard written, but it's about like mostly the experiments that were used or conducted. A little bit of it is a blurb about how the first divine dungeons were created, which again, like divine dungeons are a common knowledge. It's built off of a soul that like a soul is trapped in a crystal, and that crystal is placed as the heart of the dungeon, and that soul dictates what the dungeon becomes. So if the soul is that of like a goblin, then the dungeon is likely to grow into like a goblin's cave or something along those lines. You know that there's a divine dungeon here called Mossfin. The likelihood being that Mossfin was created from a spore shark or something like that, one of the mushroom people, maybe one of the frogs or something like that grew into their temple. Those concepts are called common knowledge for the most part. People know at this point what divine dungeons are and stuff like that. But this is more focused on transference of things, or of souls and essence and magic and stuff into smaller things.
You said that was just Jesus and Flash that...
That would have been they would have noticed the
Jesus and
book.
Brunk.
They would those two, Brunk and Jesus, would have clocked the book. And it's more so now that you're kind of thinking and trying to piece things together, it's just the appearance of like that book was read more often than the others on that section of the shelf. Like that book, like the spine is more worn. It looks like it's been like creased. Even if like you open up the pages, like some of the corners are folded, and like there's like little like kind of like written notes. Some of them in common, and others in different languages, and like weird like wizard script. Um, but like it's definitely a book that was a lot of attention was given to that book here.
Okay.
Would
I
this
didn't notice that, so I'm just like still fiddling with things in the last ditch of time.
would this have been how Lyric became trapped in her little egg?
Maybe. There's nothing in the book specifically about trapping a person in a puzzle or something like that. And again, for you, like, she wasn't. Her soul wasn't combined with the egg or anything like that, as far as you can tell. She was born out of the egg when you solved it, kind of thing. Like, it was like this egg that hatched. Lyrics still kind of singing under your like muffled singing under your armor. Every now and then, like a peep escapes and like one of the stars light up on the ceiling.
Well, maybe it's time for me to go hit something.
Brunk just wants to go fight. It's too much.
Well,
Too much thinking.
Too much thinking. It's like maybe it's time to go do something. I'm an action-oriented guy, and this action figure hasn't been played with today.
Okay.
I haven't used my karate chop action
That's a good one.
or anything else. So,
Nerissa, I'm adding Toman songbooks to your character sheet just as like an item reference.
Excellent. Thank you. Should we maybe pop over to Shiospora and see if, I don't know, if they know anything, if they saw Anthos, if Anthos went that there after here or before here or anything like that? Or do we want to just go back and confront Anthos right away?
I mean, I'm good doing whatever everybody else, whatever you think we should do. But I feel like it looks like Anthos is responsible for what happened here, and maybe we need to go.
Might be better deal.
I'm feeling less concerned about fighting Anthos or taking the fight to Anthos now than I was the last time we went into his lair, because I really wasn't sure I wanted to take the crystal the last time, but now I'm starting to feel like maybe Anthos wasn't a good guy at all.
Yeah. Okay. It seems like he's up to something bigger than we know about, and I want to try and find out as much about that before we go confront him as we can. But he also could be doing something that's making him grow stronger, and wasting time doing investigative stuff is just giving him more time to get stronger too. Like I'm not sure.
Yeah, if we wait too long, he can regroup and it'll be harder to deal with him later.
Okay, let's go confront him about what he's done to Tolman's lighthouse.
Go ask Lithraxis what his thoughts on that plan are.
That's a good idea. He seems to know more about Anthos than he lets on, at least.
I guess at this point I'll make my way back down out of the lighthouse, since it doesn't look like there's anything else to find.
Yeah, you guys make your way out. Relay things to Barnabas and Lithraxis, and he's on board immediately. He's like, yeah, let's get this bastard.
What is Rosalia thinking? Her and her little goop buddy.
Rosalia, like, she also nods along. She's like, yeah, I'm on board. Like, I didn't really trust Anthos to start out with, and this just kind of checks those boxes for me. But he is tough. And if we're going to pick a fight, just make sure that you're confident that we can get out alive. Barnabas says, I can stay with Torgrin and the ship. Yeah, it's probably best I do. I can't use much magical power, and he reaches down to his gun. He's like, this, I need to get back home to be able to recharge this. He brings you to the cavern of Anthos. Going inside, everything's a little bit darker. It looks like the light in the crystals that have grown around the cave are starting to lose the essence that they had drawn from the healing crystal. Everything's a little bit dimmer, a little bit spookier, if you will. You can hear the click and clack of claws and the kind of wah, 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 wah of the grung. But they are very much staying out of your purview as you move through the tunnels. There is the faint glow as you walk by of that, like, heating stone that was heating all of the eggs. And that appears to still have that same kind of vibrance that it had. It doesn't appear that the same magic affects this that affects the rest of the cave. Maybe, like, it was natural or something that it was there before the healing crystal. As you walk by, you see, like, the eyes of these creatures glaring at you. But there is no sense of friendliness from them. And while not physically apprehensive, there is that feeling of, like, you are being watched by people who view, or creatures that view you as enemies. They don't interrupt your pace, especially with Lithraxis with you guys. Like he kind of, like, will give, like, little intimidating glares and snarls to things that may creep close, but nothing gets really close enough to feel threatening to you guys. Not having to go around and swim around now because Lithraxis, like, fucking just bashed a hole through the walls. There is, like, a straightaway that he leads you through that you can go through this new kind of, these holes that he has created, directly to that kind of, like, center room, where now you see that there's that busted crystal that Lithraxis was in, shattered on the ground. There are a couple more crabs and grung here, but noticeably absent is Anthos.
where he could be.
I mean, maybe he's hiding in that big dark hole that we saw earlier, that we didn't want to go explore in here the last time we were here. Did we check the corner where the healing crystal used to be? Was there anything there other than the wreckage of where it used to be?
Nope, still shattered crystal, now just like an empty hole underneath where the healing orb was. You might find like a crab that's just like sleeping in the hole now.
Well, I'm not going to disturb anybody that... I'm still not trying to attack anybody that's not attacking us, but...
Yeah, and it appears like if you don't get aggressive, they're not trying to get aggressive with you. They know what you're capable of.
Did we
Well,
go
this-
investigate the hole?
It's like going to go down in the water, like deep underwater, isn't it? Do we have the ability to do that? I mean, the
I
rest of
do.
us? You know, I mean, sure, you could. I mean, you could, but the rest of us, we're not going to be able to hold our breath forever.
Lithraxis looks and says, if it goes down that deep and it goes to places where I think it may lead to, you would not be safe on your own.
Where's it supposed to go? Where do you think it goes?
You know, if Anthos is involved, it will eventually lead to the Underdeep.
What's the Underdeep?
He explains to you the same explanation he gave Nerissa, that it's kind of like the sea's version of hell.
Okay. That sounds horrifying. Are you saying that's where Anthos came from?
Yes.
So is Anthos like a crab demon?
I believe so. I mean, if not Anthos, then whoever Anthos answers to. But Anthos was present when I was captured. And now finding, that I woke up in his caverns, I'm just doing the math, if you will.
Well, it feels like we're in a dead end here. I don't know
Maybe
what
he
else to
hasn't
do.
come back after. He hasn't made his way back yet after ransacking Toman's lighthouse.
Once again, I'll get everybody to give me an investigation check. As you're doing a full sweep of the cavern. The hole is large. It's large enough that everybody could fit in that channel. You do notice that there are marks that you're not sure if they were there before. If something went down this, and you remember talking to Anthos previously and him being like, oh yeah, nothing goes down there. Nobody goes near it. It's something foreboding. It feels like something foreboding is down there. There is still that sense of a strange dread coming from deep within that you can feel. But also, you notice physically that there are marks, like something large was dragged down into it.
They like the same kind of marks we were seeing at Toman's place, like the same claw marks, or different?
Not claw marks. You don't see claw marks, but for how big this place is, something almost as big as the hole, it looks like was like whether it be a creature that went down into it, or it was some kind of object that scraped against the rock. There's like a uniform pattern of like kind of scratches along one side of this wall. You can only see a little bit because as like you get deep, like looking deeper into the hole, it's black. It's nothing. It's just darkness. Even you, Jesus, with your true sight, you can only see down so deep, and it's just like on that wall. You'll also notice that there are like those uniform kind of markings, like something was kind of like dragged against the wall of it.
Would my dark vision allow me to see anything else or no?
Just the same thing,
Okay.
and only again so far. This channel goes for you're not even sure. There is no sense of a bottom.
Okay. I don't know what could have left those marks.
Rosalia's like, well, whatever went down there took something big with it.
Can I like get a feel for any like if there's any aquatic life down there? If it's
What
Can I do a vibes check on the water again?
whatever sound there is not. There's no aquatic life down there, and the vibe check is bad. Whatever is down there feels bad.
Okay. Mm,
Hey, Dookie Bear.
I don't know what that is, but it does not seem friendly. I don't think whatever's in that hole is a problem for right now. If our goal is finding Anthos, I feel like he might be somewhere else on the island.
Yeah, I'm down for checking for those also on the island before exploring this hole.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to, well, I'm down with exploring some more and seeing what else we can find out.
Well, especially if we're looking for Anthos, like it doesn't look like he's made it back yet after taking the light source from Toman's place.
You think there's a chance that something bigger came for Anthos and dragged him back down that hole?
I look over at Lithraxis. You would know more about what kind of stuff is in the Underdeep.
Horrible things. Horrible, horrible things. Horrors.
Things bigger than Anthos?
Horrors that make dragons scared.
Okay. I don't know if whatever dragged something down there dragged Anthos down there, but we know Anthos was at the lighthouse and he took the crystal, and it doesn't look like he's made it back here with it. That's at least what it seems like to me. We still haven't checked out those hands in the north that we were told about either.
Rosalia looks and says, I mean, we only went up there briefly ourselves. It's if we're going up there, we should be prepared for a fight. If we're going towards Gigantus Palms, the birds out there are vicious.
Okay.
I've updated your in progress quests in the quest log, by the way. Rosalia is like, so what do we do? Obviously, none of us can really breathe water except you, Nerissa.
I don't want to go down there alone without my armor.
Um, Rosalia kind of looks up and she's like, maybe going back to Redalius isn't a terrible idea. Not only will we be able to kind of well, I mean, you guys have more lay of the land than I would, but I'm assuming there's places to get gear of some variety and maybe employ a spellcaster or somebody who can help us breathe underwater.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to resupply before we go further.
You're muted.
Where does the captain suggest we should go?
Captain's on the ship right now. And I mean, Rosalia's like the captain did tell you guys that it was up to you three. I'm just making a suggestion. I don't have a say. I'm tagging along.
Well, I mean, you feel like you should have a little bit of a say since you've got a interest in a companion that needs assistance.
Yeah, I mean, another great suggestion for going back. I'm less worried about him on the ship than I was about, or when he was inside the belly of a shadow monster.
Maybe we can find out what your little goo monster is about.
Mm-hmm.
That's true as well. I don't know anything about it, and she kind of looks and gives it a little like poke, and it kind of like does that little like. Again, it doesn't scare me as much as that does, and she points to the crown on Jesus's head.
Yeah. I could I kind of understand what you're saying. That's really unsettling, especially the damn wings. Like, dude. Ugh. We just get him a pitchfork.
She's like, I've never been to Rudalius. And from the little I've heard good things.
Then we should go.
She nods and she's like, yeah, that's great.
We're not going to get there any quicker if we don't get back to the boat.
Everybody gets back to the ship.
I was going to ask before we leave the cave, can we raid some more gold from that pile or no?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Or will we get it? Awesome. I want to raid some more gold from that pile. I have that in my bag of holding. I'll take 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't we just pile it in and stock up real quick? It might as well go to a good cause. Whatever that might be.
Whatever
cooking
that
lessons.
might be. Cooking lessons. Materials for your ship.
I'm gonna buy an outboard motor.
A means to pay for potential water breathing spells. If you guys are taking your time and actually like bringing like bales of gold back to the ship and like putting them in the ship's storage, this room contains about 15,000 gold pieces.
Oh wow.
Yeah, how much can we fit in that bag of holding before we have to haul it back and empty it and start over?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're taking the time to like fucking move everything to the ship, you guys have time is the one thing you guys have on your side right now. So if you want to take the time to empty out the gold stores from this place, I would
Sounds
not.
Like
yeah, I'm not.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like the right plan.
Throw it all into the chest in the basement of the ship, the bottom of the ship.
In the ship bilge.
Yeah.
One of those chests is going to contain your money.
I think that's a good idea.
I feel like we should have. Maybe we should have just torn down the lighthouse and added the supplies to the ship.
It was already trashed anyways. We can just say it was trashed like when we found it.
Just, it's like, well, they didn't need the lighthouse anymore. Let's just add it to the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to add another objective to this quest because if you find Anthos, you'll probably find, potentially, find out what happened to Toman and Ned. There we go. I've added that 15,000 to the gold in the bilge.
Awesome.
Oh, Ellie, you're not supposed to be able to see the Rudalius map yet.
I didn't know that.
What are you doing over there? No, I mean it's your home. You know relatively what it looks like, but there's some things that you don't know yet. That
It's okay. I haven't actually been looking at it that closely yet. I'll go back to Therios.
Yeah. You get back on the ship and Barnabas is just kind of like chilling on the deck. welcomes you guys and says, oh, did you find anything?
A lot of gold.
That's good. Gold is good.
Yeah, that's about it. Some big ass scratch marks in the tunnel that leads down below into the dark.
No anthos.
All of his little critters are still there, but Anthos is gone.
And did you dance battle or talk with them or something to get more information?
No, I pretty much just left him alone.
Don't you talk to crabs or something?
I mean, yeah, I can. I just didn't think to.
That's
Like, literally didn't think to, because he's not that bright.
yeah. He's like, that's fair, lad. You're so handsome. You're so incredibly handsome.
Yeah, I know. It's a curse. As I shake out the hair. The hair that's getting long. Like, stupidly long.
Well, gang, where do we go from here?
The census is we were going to go back to Redalius to stock up on supplies and get some help for Torgrin.
I think that's a good idea as well. We have the ship now, which still needs a name, by the way.
That she said something about a sea serpent or a silvery serpent or something like that.
Yeah, the SSC Serpent.
The SSC Serpent.
I thought you said SS stood for sea serpent.
It does.
Something.
So it's the Sea Serpent, Sea Serpent?
And if anyone else has any ideas, I'm happy to hear them, but that one's mine.
What was the last ship called?
The Moonjack?
We can call this one too the Moonjack 2 Electric Boogaloo.
What's the thing on the figurehead?
It looks like a serpent.
Serpent.
Yeah, it looks like a crystal serpent.
Oh, okay. So we've got a serpentine looking thing on the front end of the ship.
Yeah.
So the serpent.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, Sea Serpent.
Just sea serpent.
No, the SSC Serpent.
Just sea serpent.
Okay.
I feel like we're having that conversation in the social network where he's like, where he says, drop the, just call it Facebook. Facebook.
Sea Serpent?
Fine.
What did you say? Silvery Serpent?
I don't know. I don't have a memory for this kinds of things, Barney.
I do like Silvery Serpent or Silver Serpent.
The silver serpent.
Are there any?
Call it the Silver Surfer.
But it's not surfing.
Surfing across the waves, dude.
Nerissa gives like a little.
I still think serpent. I still think serpent. Sea serpent. Silver sea serpent. That's a
Ooh,
lot of words.
that is a lot of words.
That's a lot of words. 2 words. Ship should have a 2-word name
Yeah.
or a 1-word name. I mean, we could give it a whole bunch of word names.
Good.
Like all of them start with S.
Very alliterative. I like that.
Slippery, silvery, sea serpent.
Slippery, silvery sea serpent. And for short, we can just call it.
Now you've got your SSC serpent. The slippery, silvery sea serpent. SS sea serpent. Oh, look.
Excellent. We compromised back to what I originally wanted.
It had to have a meaning. Now we have a meaning. So
Excellent. I'm done with that.
All right. He pulls out like a bottle of rum out of nowhere. Takes a big swig of it, hands it to the next person. It's like, all right, let's christen her. Pass the bottle around. I'm assuming everybody takes a swig. Gets back to Barnabas, takes the last swig. There you go. Takes the last swig and smashes the bottle on the deck and is like, I christen you the slippery, silvery sea serpent.
Yay!
Hey, why is the rum gone?
We drank it.
Oh.
You think I was going to smash a full bottle? That's why we emptied it first, boy.
Oh, that's a good point.
Man.
He's a smart captain.
Mm-hmm.
I try. We don't have many materials.
I guess we're going to go back to Redalius.
Yes. It's a...
Which direction is that, by the way? As he turns around.
I want to say... you guys were traveling north. It is south from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rudalius is
that way. He points north. That way.
He like just walks over and like turns you full body around to be pointing in the right direction.
That way.
That way.
Okay. Got it.
Last minute thing then I think we should do here. Let's gather as much wood. Like we'll take down some trees. It shouldn't take long with some magic to take down a few trees. And get some of those rocks just to have some material on the ship that we might be able to work with if we want to adapt it. It's going to be about 3 days. It took us about 3 days, right? Three or 4 days to get back home. In that time, we might as well use it productively to see if there's something we can do on the ship. Before we set off, is there anything else you think we should get from anywhere?
I feel like more of those magical mushrooms could come in handy.
You stop by Shadowspora, get a supply of magical mushrooms,
and warn him that there might be a big angry demon crab thing that might be coming around.
Okay.
They might like a warning.
Then yeah,
should have done that while we were there.
Let's head to Shadowspora. We'll stop there. We might even be able to see if they have any kind of medicinal herbs that could help our friend here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll set sail for Brudalius. He turns the boat. He's like, all right, set the sails. Onward to Shadowspora. And as the ship drifts towards the Mushroom Island, that's where we'll end session for tonight. Great roleplay. A lot happened. I'm gonna say another 5 points on your points cards for some good roleplay. Next week we will head to Shadowspora, where you can give your warnings and get more information, and then we will be on the open sea and therefore doing our first round of downtime. So think about the things that you'll want to do during downtime. Here we have a very specific structure for downtime. Flash has experienced it already, but this will be new for everybody else. On this tracker, you can see that there are different designations: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You will be able to decide what you want to do on these different tracks, things like mystery and investigation, personal goals, relationships, reputation, research, self-care, and side work. For you guys, it's going to be kind of limited to what you can do for now. You're going to be on the open sea, but things like personal goals could be things like you, Nerissa, wanting to kind of like explore the waters and gather trash that you can use to upgrade your thing or upgrade the ship, things like that. It could be gathering materials ahead of time, like we won't go through the whole rigmarole of role playing you guys cutting down trees. You know you have access to trees, you know you have access to stone and those basic materials. So we're just going to say that you guys have like a healthy amount of those materials to work with for your first couple projects. So it's really thinking about what you want to do for adaptations to the ship. For you, Nerissa, what kind of goals you have for your armor. Yeah, things like you had access to Toman's library, if there's any kind of books or things. One thing you noticed that you were told that nothing can leave the tower, but when you look, Nerissa, you still have those 3 songbooks that you took from the tower. So either they were lying or the magic that was keeping items in place is not there anymore. So things to think about. Again, I'll ask you next week if there are things that you want to do aside from Shiaspora. So if you want to do any other kind of investigating, we'll do one final say-so before you're on the open sea, and then it'll be downtime, and you guys can do some different things for your downtime, whatever it is. Like if you're trying to learn something or if you're trying to investigate something, we'll work it out. For anyone watching the upload at home, thanks for tuning in. Since it wasn't streaming, like you're actually going through effort to watch the session. So thanks at home. We love every single one of you. Hope you have a wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And as always, power the players. Have a great night.